Hello everybody and welcome to Elite Weather. My name is Mr. G, your meteorologist, and I hope you guys all had a great holiday weekend as we are still in that holiday weekend, but we are on Labor Day now, so it's the last day and get you guys ready to go back to school and work for your Tuesday. So Tuesday is going to be the first day of school for most of the students across the nation after the holiday here, and some of you folks are going to be dealing with some heavy rain, especially over the eastern half of the nation as you head out the door to go to school and work as well. We're going to take a look at the tropics and also talk about the severe weather prospects over the next couple of days. So let's jump into things right now as we talk about our city of the day. And our city of the day is going to be Youngstown, Ohio. Yes, there is out there. Now, Youngstown has a kind of a storied history here, and back in the 1800s and the early 1900s, it was a steel producer, so they had a lot of wealth. There was a lot of things going on, and it was actually a much bigger city than what it is now, but ever since the steel production died down and the manufacturing jobs went overseas, Youngstown is now considered to be sort of the heart of the Rust Belt in the U.S. right now. But they've been trying to revitalize the downtown area, get a nice little arts district going on, a little bit of things to kind of help keep the city going there. But they have suffered over the last 50 to 70 years or so, ever since the manufacturing jobs went elsewhere. So a little bit about the Youngstown area, but you will be seeing those temperatures in the 70s degrees today and some rain showers out there as we're dealing with that heavy rain, and you have that potential today to see some flash flooding. So a lot of rain in your forecast over the next couple of days, where your current temperature is about 73 degrees, and your forecasted high today is also going to be 73, so you've hit that forecast. 74 tomorrow, and that is your 5-day outlook there for your Monday all the way into Friday. From Monday into Friday there, you'll dry out about the second half of the week, but you'll see those temperatures creep up towards the 80-degree mark by your Friday. So let's take a look at our weather today segment, and we'll be talking about what we're going to be seeing out there on that local radar. And then the radar is very dry across most of the nation to the west, but we are seeing our frontal boundary down here from the southern Texas all the way into the northeast. And we have a lot of rainfall from New England all the way through the mid-Atlantic states and the interior of the northeast down to the Ohio Valley, as well as to Appalachian. So the entire Appalachian and Adirondack mountain range going to be seeing that heavy rainfall this afternoon as a result of that frontal boundary and those areas of low pressure that's embedded in there, and lots of convergence taking place. So we have high pressure over to the northwest, as well as high pressure to the south and east, and all of this energy and moisture is being funneled through this region. So we're seeing a lot of training of showers and storms here. A lot of this is heavy rain. We're not really seeing a whole lot of thunderstorm activity through the bulk of this, but we do have thunderstorms down here and also across the southern region down into Texas. That's where a lot of our thunderstorm activity is lying this afternoon. And here we are as we take a look at our forecasted hazards and watches that's in place right now. We have two sides. We have the eastern half of the nation. This entire region from Mississippi, Louisiana, all the way up to Maine is going to be under a flood watch this afternoon, and we have that potential for that heavy rain that you just saw on the radar through this entire region into the northeast. And also our heat advisories here through portions of Nevada, as well as down through California. Our excessive heat, where we've been seeing that triple-digit heat down across the eastern deserts, and also all the way up to Maine, where we have our red flag advisory through portions of northern Montana. So northern Montana, we have our red flag. We have heat advisory through southwestern Oregon, southern Iowa, northeastern Utah, and northern Nevada and far northwestern California. Excessive heat through the Central Valley as well as Southern California and the southeastern deserts of California as well through the Mojave, where those temperatures are up to 110 degrees, so it's very hot across the desert southwest, and we do have some record heat in place for a lot of these areas, and we're going to also be seeing that this is also the hottest time of the year across the Los Angeles and Orange County area as the Santa Anas kind of start to get going through this time of the year. So through September and into November, you can see actually hotter days than you see in June, July, and August because of that positioning of that high pressure across Utah and Nevada. So it creates those offshore winds across Southern California, which pushes that marine layer out to sea, which protects Southern California from heat situations. But you're not going to see that in place over the next few days, as that heat is going to be strongly entrenched across the southwestern U.S. down there. And here we are as we take a look at our upper air dynamics going on, and you can see right here that big huge ridge of high pressure that's dominating the entire western half of the United States. So you're seeing that big ridge of high pressure, and you're seeing our zonally flow here across the U.S.-Canadian border. So all of our storm systems are coming onto the Pacific, and they're riding over that ridge, going into British Columbia, and then they are zipping across the Canadian prairies over here into Edmonton and down here to portions of Manitoba. So you're seeing those storm systems zip across southern Canada, and they have trailing cold fronts and pieces of energy that will occasionally drop down across the Great Lakes, the upper Mississippi Valley, and then you see all of this southern jet stream as well. We have the southern energy here that's streaming all the way across the Great Lakes and to the northeast. So that is all the energy from all that rainfall that we're seeing down here across Texas, through portions of the Midwest, as well into the Northeast. So there's our focus. But you see how it's pretty open right here? That actually kind of leaves the southeastern U.S. vulnerable to these guys out here, to those tropical weather systems. But fortunately, at this time, nothing is primed to hit the southeastern U.S. at this time. But this scenario kind of leaves the southeastern U.S., like Florida, vulnerable to attack from tropical storms and hurricanes at this moment. So, but there's nothing on the horizon at this time. Here's our regional weather forecast. So let's talk about that regional forecast and take a look at this afternoon's rainfall potential, and that is going to be right here through the mid-Atlantic, through the Appalachian Mountain Range, and into portions of the Northeast there, from Boston all the way down to D.C. and Maryland, and further down to Atlanta as well. So Atlanta to Boston, some heavy rain that can lead to some flash flooding, because we have several areas of low pressure embedded along this frontal boundary here, and this is our old southern boundary that has lifted to the north, and they've kind of combined here. This is our old southern one here, and this is that other one we had that was moving across the northern half of the nation that's now across the east coast, and that convergence that's taking place is leaving for a lot of heavy rain through portions of the eastern half of the nation. But we're seeing very lovely dry conditions across the upper tier of the nation and out west. But the southwest, we are dealing with that heat as well. So very hot weather across the western half of the nation, pleasant across the north central section of the country, but very wet over the eastern side of the nation for your Monday afternoon, and tomorrow for your first day back to school and back to work. The same is going to continue. We'll see that lovely weather across the upper Mississippi Valley, the northern plains, and the high plains of the northern Rockies, of the Rockies Front Range there. We're going to see nice, pleasant temperatures heat across the western half of the nation. Things are going to start to cool off across the Pacific Northwest. We're going to see a little bit less in the way of those heat advisories. Still going to be pretty warm across the Pacific Northwest, but a little bit cooler and a bit more tolerable. But the heat will continue across the desert Southwest, especially into Southern California, Los Angeles, San Diego, and down into Orange County. You will be dealing with that excessive heat situation for the next couple of days there. Lovely across the state of Texas as well, and very dry. A little bit on the warm side. You're going to be seeing those temperatures in the 90s, but nothing too extreme for you guys as you head back to school and work for your Tuesday. And for your Wednesday out here, we're going to be seeing those showers and storms. Nothing in the way of excessive rainfall expected at this time for your Wednesday, but we will be seeing those showers and storms from Boston all the way down the southeastern seaboard and into Florida and along the Gulf Coast and into South Texas once again, as we have that frontal boundary in place with some embedded short waves that can lead to a little bit of heavy rainfall. So we'll definitely watch for updates to this weather forecast before we get to Wednesday, because it could include some areas that could deal with some heavy rain and flash flooding. Lovely weather once again across the Great Lakes and the northern tier of the nation, the northern plains through Minnesota, the Dakotas, and Montana, and Wyoming as well. Maybe a few showers and storms along the U.S.-Canadian border up there, as we have some moisture-starved weather systems that's moving along the U.S. and Canadian border. So we have those situations to deal with, and we have a few spotty monsoon-type storms that we're going to be dealing with through the Four Corner states for your Wednesday, as we have Hurricane K that's going to move very close to Southern California by about September the 10th. So I'm going to monitor this guy very closely. Hurricane K it's still a tropical storm, but by the time we get to Wednesday, it is going to be a hurricane, and it's going to move right along the coast of Baja California and move very close to Southern California, to LA. We're talking about within 200 miles of the coast of Los Angeles. That tropical storm is going to move towards, but eventually it's going to turn toward the northwest. It's not going to come on shore, but it will affect the weather, and it's definitely going to affect the beaches and hands that serve. So make things a little bit exciting for the surfers, and it could spread some showers and thunderstorms definitely across Southern California as well, especially as it begins to weaken. It's going to be moving off to the west there when it passes by, and the possibility is that as it unwinds, that plume of moisture could affect Northern California and the Pacific Northwest more so than it will Southern California. But we'll definitely have to wait and see what we could see around the LA area. We could certainly see some intense showers and thunderstorms, and maybe the potential for tropical storm-induced winds off right off the coast. Of Southern California. So definitely an interesting situation could play out on the southwest coast in California by about the 9th or 10th of September. So maybe by this weekend, I'm going to be doing a special about that tropical impact on Southern California. So I'm pretty excited about that possibility right here. And we have Tropical Storm Earl that's going to remain out here over the Atlantic as well. But we're going to talk about the tropics in just a moment here. So as we talk about our tropical outlook, let's jump on into that. So we are going to be taking a look at, here's what we got in the Atlantic right now. We got three situations. We have Hurricane Danielle out here over the North Atlantic. And we have Tropical Storm Earl right here just north of the Caribbean. And we have this tropical wave out here that has that potential for it's about 20% chance of further development here over the next 5 days or so. So we're going to watch this guy as it moves on off to the west. It's a pretty big tropical wave out there, so we're going to have to see what happens with that over the next 5 days or so. And here we are as we take a look at the Pacific. Let me stand to where you can see where K is out there, our tropical storm right now that is going to move right along the Baja Peninsula coast right there and become a hurricane. So we'll have a hurricane. This is going to be a very close pass to Southern California as it moves on off toward the north and west there. So here we are as we take a look. Here is what the GFS is saying for September the 10th. You see our day up there, September 10th. And here is Tropical Storm. Well, at this time will be Tropical Storm K. It's going to be about 984 millibars. So that is strong enough to be Category 1 hurricane, actually. But the forecast model is for it to be tropical storm. But look at that. That is less than 200 miles off the coast of California. How about that? That is amazing. That tropical storm is going to pass that close. Now, Southern California is not a stranger to tropical systems. And that, in fact, back in 1945, a tropical storm actually came up the Gulf of California here and actually passed onto the southeastern deserts here over Imperial County and actually went offshore at San Pedro, and LA had 45-mile-per-hour winds and heavy rains. So California, Southern California could certainly be hit or affected by tropical storms. It's very, very rare, but it can happen. Yes, that's right. The tropical storm. I'm excited about this. I'm very, very excited about this because we're definitely going to see some rainfall from this guy affect California, LA, Orange County, and San Diego, especially as it's over here and it's coming up from the south. This is just the next 5 days out into the future here. So we're definitely going to have to monitor that situation and see if it stays on track. I'm really hoping it stays on track. Not that I want to see destruction, but just the idea that a tropical storm can come that close to Los Angeles. Wow, unbelievable. So let's move on with this. Here is the satellite image of our 3 tropical systems right now. There is K in the Pacific. Here is Earl, and there is Danielle up there in the North Atlantic, and here is just some of the details. And here is what we're going to be doing with Hurricane Danielle. Now, Danielle has about 80 mile per hour wind, so it is a Category 1 hurricane, and it's not going to affect any land masses before 12 p.m. Saturday, but it will dissipate into a tropical depression and head on north of Great Britain and Wales out there. So it's going to be headed on north of the British Isles as we head on through the next 7 days. And here we are with a look at Tropical Storm Earl. Now, Tropical Storm Earl will become a hurricane, but it's going to stay out here west of the Caribbean there. So it's going to move on off to the north and east. So by 8 a.m. next Saturday, we'll be looking at Hurricane Earl out there across the Atlantic. We'll have to wait and see if Earl becomes a major hurricane, but at this time, it is not expected to directly affect the United States. The only thing it can really do that it's going to do is affect shipping interests. It may bother Bermuda a little bit, and it could be increasing the eastern coast, the east coast swell, make some excitement for people who might want to surf, and it can make the waters a little bit choppy there down across the coast of Florida and the southeastern United States through the Carolinas and Georgia there. So as we take a look now at Tropical Storm, soon to be Hurricane K. Now here we are. It's going to head on off toward the northwest, make a little bit of jog toward the north, and come very close to the coast of Baja California. We're already seeing our tropical storm watch in effect here across the southern tip of Baja, and that is going to move on very close there to the west coast of the United States. and potentially affect Southern California with some heavy rain and maybe a little bit of wind from those outer bands as Tropical Storm K maybe starts the weekend as it drops down from hurricane status to a tropical storm status by about 6 a.m. on your Saturday morning upcoming. So a little bit of excitement as we keep a close eye and monitor that situation on the West Coast. Now here we are as we talk about the severe weather. Not a whole lot of severe weather to talk about unless you want to talk about heavy rain and severe weather. And here's what we call a K index. Now the K index is a composite index of our lapse rates, our CAPE, and some other severe weather parameters that are kind of combined together to give you a snapshot of the atmosphere and what areas are going to be most inducive for thunderstorms. And we're seeing that for you Tuesday here from the northeast down through the portions of the Midwest, as well as down the entire southeastern corner of the nation, along the U.S. and Mexican border down into the southwest. We have our tropical system down there off the coast of Mexico. So all of our stormy weather and thunderstorms could happen there and off the coast of the southwestern deserts there, as we still have a little bit of monsoon moisture down across the desert southwest there. So we have a little bit of monsoon moisture left over. We have our moisture down here across southern Texas, and we have our moisture down here along the Gulf of Mexico and our frontal boundaries and stuff, and our extra tropical or mid-latitude disturbances here that's going to be kicking off a lot of rainfall and thunderstorms that can lead to your flash flooding. So you see a little bit higher index here for that potential for rain and thunderstorms. So here's a look at our severe weather outlook. Let me stand over here, and we just have that potential for severe weather over central Texas right here this afternoon, where we can see some gusty winds and some heavy rain and some potential for hail. We're not worrying about tornadoes, but it's always possible. Back on the 27th, we had 5 tornadoes affect the Twin Cities at night. So we had 5 diurnal tornadoes over the Twin Cities during the state fair, and I was actually at the state fair that night when those tornadoes were going off near my area. So very interesting evening there, but that potential for severe weather do exist down here across central Texas this afternoon and evening. No severe weather expected tomorrow, and no severe weather expected Wednesday, but things could always change. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have right now as we say goodbye to summer and get ready for fall. But summer is kind of like, no, I ain't done just quite yet, but you should start to see those changes pretty soon as we go to that cooler weather of the fall season. And give me about a month, because we're going to start talking about snow and winter weather through some parts of the nation, especially up here in Montana and the portions of the Pacific Northwest and the Northern Rockies. Certainly within the next month, we're going to be starting to talk about winter weather. So that's all I have for now, guys. Thanks for watching, and hope you guys had a great holiday. Leave your likes, comments, and please subscribe to the channel. And I'll be here probably every afternoon with the weather forecast or evening. So it just depends on my work day and when my work schedule is. So some might be in the morning, some videos might be late in the evening, but you're always going to get some kind of a video. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye-bye.